Your silence is killing them. Let's take a journey into the unseen world of emotions, of hidden struggles, of words left unspoken and pain left unnoticed. I want you to open your mind, to really let these words sink in, because what I am about to share with you today is not just a speech. It's a reality that surrounds us every single day. It's a reality that affects the lives of countless people, yet it's one we often ignore, one we brush aside, one we convince ourselves is not our responsibility. But here's the truth. Your silence, my silence, it's killing them. You may wonder who them is. Who are the ones being affected by our silence? It's the people you see every day. It's the colleague who sits across from you, the friend who suddenly seems distant, the family member who always says, "I'm fine," even when you sense something's off. It's the young man who appears to have everything together but feels lost inside. It's the woman juggling work, family, and personal battles, yet she doesn't ask for help because she thinks no one will understand. It's the countless individuals who wear a mask, hiding their true feelings because they believe that no one will care. And in that belief, they feel isolated, cut off, invisible. Now imagine a day in the life of a young woman named Emily. To everyone else, she's just another person, a face in the crowd, a stranger in passing. But inside, she's carrying the weight of 1,000 insecurities, a mountain of self-doubt. Every day she wakes up feeling like she's not enough, that she's somehow failing, that she doesn't deserve to be happy. And so, she puts on a brave face, forces a smile, and goes about her day, hoping that no one will notice the cracks in her armor. She hopes in her own quiet way that someone will see beyond her smile, that someone will ask if she's okay. But she's met with silence. And that silence becomes a prison, trapping her in a world of loneliness, making her feel as though she's truly alone in her struggle. You see, silence is not just the absence of words. It's the absence of connection. It's the space where loneliness thrives, where insecurities grow, where fear and doubt consume people from within. When we choose silence, we're not just choosing not to speak. We're choosing not to care, not to reach out, not to be there for someone who might need us more than we realize. We may think we're minding our own business, respecting boundaries, but sometimes silence does more harm than words ever could. Think about the people in your life. How many of them are truly okay? How many of them are carrying burdens they don't speak of? It could be anyone, your best friend, your sibling, your partner. Just because someone looks fine on the outside doesn't mean they're not struggling on the inside. The strongest people often fight the hardest battles alone, not because they don't want help, but because they've been conditioned to believe that no one will understand, that no one cares enough to listen. Let me tell you another story. A young man named Jake, successful by all outward appearances with a job, friends, and a seemingly perfect life. But inside, he feels empty, directionless, like he's lost in a maze with no way out. He spends nights lying awake, questioning his purpose, wondering if he even matters. And every day he puts on a facade, hiding his pain, hiding his struggles, because he doesn't want to burden anyone. And every day, the people around him see his smile, hear his laugh, and assume he's fine. But Jake isn't fine. He's drowning in silence, and every moment of silence pushes him further away, further into the darkness. Now ask yourself, how many Jakes and Emilys do you know? How many people around you might be struggling in ways you can't even imagine? And yet, how often do we choose to remain silent, thinking it's not our place, thinking they'll ask if they need help? The truth is, sometimes the people who need help the most are the least likely to ask for it. They carry their pain in silence, hoping someone will see, someone will care, someone will break through that silence. Your silence, my silence, it doesn't just impact those around us, it shapes the very fabric of our relationships. It creates distance where there should be closeness, isolation where there should be connection, and despair where there should be hope. When we choose silence, we're choosing to let others fight their battles alone. We're choosing to let them carry burdens they may not be strong enough to bear. Let's talk about what happens when we break that silence. Imagine a world where people are not afraid to reach out, where they're not afraid to ask, "Are you really okay?" Imagine the difference it could make if we showed even a fraction of the compassion we're capable of. If we took the time to truly see the people around us, to listen without judgment, to offer support without expecting anything in return. Breaking the silence is not just about speaking up. It's about creating a space where people feel safe, where they feel valued, where they feel seen. But I know it's not easy. Speaking up takes courage. It takes vulnerability. It requires us to step outside of our comfort zones, to risk rejection, to face the possibility that we might not have all the answers. But isn't it worth it? Isn't it worth a little discomfort if it means saving someone from the loneliness, the despair, the darkness? Isn't it worth it if it means reminding someone that they're not alone, that they're not invisible, that they matter? Today, I challenge you to break the silence. I challenge you to be the voice that someone needs to hear, the hand that someone needs to hold, the presence that reminds them they're not alone. Because in a world that's already filled with so much suffering, so much pain, can we really afford to stay silent? Our silence may seem harmless, but to those who are struggling, it's a reminder of their isolation. To them, our silence is not just a lack of words, it's a lack of empathy, a lack of understanding, a lack of care. And while we may not see it, our silence has the power to push people further away, to make them feel as though their pain doesn't matter, as though their struggles are insignificant. So let's make a choice today. Let's choose to break the silence, to reach out, to show up, to be there for those who need us, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's inconvenient, even when it means facing our own fears and insecurities. Because at the end of the day, our silence may be comfortable for us, but it could be killing them.